What's going on, guys? The Calmfire crew is here. I'm Calmfirenate, and I know you're probably saying, wait a minute, this is Game of Thrones Day. Why are you doing a Walking Dead video? Well, as you can see, it's just me today. Rich is sick. He's got the flu. And where we live, the weather goes from 20 to 70 every other day. I mean, come on, guys. It's inevitable. We're going to get sick, and Rich is sick. But don't worry. He's got lots of homework, lots of shows and stuff to watch while he's laid up so that he will be completely caught up on all the things that we want to talk about in the future. But today I want to talk about something that people have asked me a lot. They're saying, especially fans that are kind of casual, it's like, man, Walking Dead has just been boring this first half of the season. It's just sucked. I don't like it. I'm just not into it. And you can tell from the ratings. I mean, the ratings have dropped from, the 16, 17 million range down to like 10, 11 million, which is still a huge number, by the way. 10 and 11 million is a lot of people watching a television show. But it's still, it's very noticeable. So a lot of people are really like, I don't understand why. And, I watched it, and it took me a while to try to come up because there's so many different things that factor into it. But I believe I've come up with 3 reasons. 3 reasons why the show has sucked so far. And then I'm going to talk about a little bit of why we can look forward to this next half. We're going to start talking about that right now. All right, reason number 1, what I like to call the finale effect. Okay, we knew the finale ended with this, oh crap, what's going to happen to the crew? What's going to happen to our guys? We're really worried. And a casual fan, or even maybe some others who aren't familiar with the comics, would feel like as another finale, a lot of times, okay, our group's in a bad situation on other shows, but then in the premiere, they escape, everyone's happy, but it leaves you in suspense. This finale didn't do that. It puts you in a bad situation, lets you worry about it for several months, and then comes back and literally smacks you in the head with a bat. I mean, come on. I mean, it was hard. It was hard for some people, and the casual fans, a lot of people might have been like, man, that's too much. I'm done. I'm getting out of here. I can't watch this anymore. This show just, broke my heart, or other parts. Either way, it was very, very difficult to watch. And I believe for a lot of people, especially casual fans, this was enough for them to just say, hey, I'm going to step back from Walking Dead for a little bit. All right, reason number 2, what I like to call the Rick effect. Now, a lot of people didn't like seeing Rick in this almost kind of neutered state. They didn't like it. And a lot of people were like, man, we've already seen this. We already seen Rick the farmer. We don't want to see now Rick the sad, I'm scared of this guy kind of person. No one wanted to see that. What's interesting about that is the fact that they did that earlier, right before the governor showed up, where that kind of, Rick was kind of, I'm, be a farmer. I don't want to fight, all this kind of stuff. That didn't take place in the comics. That was the show doing something to kind of build up to the governor, and it worked. It was really effective. But now it feels like they've tried to do the same thing again, although what they're doing now actually took place in the comics. Rick was kind of, subdued for a time before he finally rose up against Negan. So I think for some fans, they're like, I've already seen this, man. I don't want to see this again. I don't like seeing Rick, just, he can't fight. He's scared. You don't like seeing Daryl like that. You don't want to see this, even though Daryl, even while he was kind of in that state, he still had that I'm ready to fight spirit about him. People didn't like it. And I think that also turned off a lot of people. All right, the third thing, what I like to call the comic effect. Now, the reason why I call it the comic effect is because everything that's taken place this first half of the season, for the most part, has been pretty much right out of the comics. This entire stretch after Negan showed up in the comics was a part for me when I remember reading the comics where I got a little disconnected. I remember being, letting a few issues pile up. And remember, these issues come out monthly. So I maybe would go 1, 2, 3 months and not read a comic. Very much like some people have gone 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks and haven't watched the show. Because everything that's taking place right now in the comics was kind of boring. It was like, oh, we're being introduced to these new places. It just didn't it wasn't exciting. And the way they did it in the show, where they introduced all these new communities and it was just focused on that every episode, was kind of hard to watch. You wanted to see what was going on with your main group. And maybe if they would have taken that and kind of split that in a little bit, it might have made it better. But ultimately, the comic effect messed it up for a lot of people, and they didn't get to see their group. and they would tune in and see an episode where they were talking about this other place and be like, man, I don't care. And I think that also affects the show greatly. So now we've talked about all these reasons that affect the first half of this season. But I'm here to tell you guys it's going to get better. The second half of the season is going to be one of the best, and it's going to be super exciting. I know roughly where the comic goes. I can't state specifically what happens in every single episode, but I know that once they decided they were going to fight back in the comic itself became one of those things that I literally was running to read every single month. And that, for me, gets me excited because I know the show's going to do the same thing. Every single episode is going to be exciting. We're going to have our group back. Everyone's going to be going. They're going to be planning to rise up against Negan, and this second half is going to be one of the best. So for those who are kind of like, I don't know, just get caught up, guys. It's going to come back on in February. I know that first half's going to be it's going to be really rough to watch. Just watch through it, knowing that it's going to get better. But I promise you, this next half is going to be exciting, guys. So listen. If you think there's another reason that maybe the show just killed it for you, I want to hear what it is. I love hearing this. I've talked to people at work all the time about the things about this show that kind of irritates them, but I want to let you know it's going to get better. Let me know. Send us a comment. Tell us what you think. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. But look forward to more videos starting next week. When everyone is healthy, we're going to be hitting videos. And also our new format. We're going to do something very different come when Walking Dead comes back on and when Game of Thrones comes back on. And we also have some new shows that we might be doing, and we're going to try this new format. I think you guys will like it. So until next time, we'll see you later.